All right, so I've been going over the list or whatever of games that has been announced at E3 2021, and I've been looking over the different press conferences and whatnot. E3 2021 is not over, far from it. There is a few more days worth of coverage, and there's a few more companies that have yet to make their industry wide, worldwide announcements or whatever for their new projects. As far as what has been revealed already, um, my co-host and I, my co-host being Mike, we already went over like Ubisoft's press conference and whatnot. And I have yet to edit that video. So this video, I'm focused particularly on Xbox and Bethesda and Square Enix as far as like what was announced during the length of those press conferences. Some people already have this overly optimistic opinion of how Microsoft did, with Xbox and Bethesda. As far as Xbox and Bethesda goes, because I'm going to talk about their press conference first, it was very 50-50. Some of what they announced was interesting. Some of what they announced really did look good, and then some of it was just either BS or they didn't really show gameplay, so I wasn't really able to comment or get a good idea of what the particular game is. And there's a few different examples as far as that goes. But I look at an article like this. You have Ryan McCaffrey, who is like the Xbox guy over at IGN and is a clear Xbox fanboy. He claims that the Xbox drought is over as far as their first party exclusives go. I don't really share that opinion because, like I said, some of what they announced was a bunch of nonsense. I have quite a few issues with some of the things that went down during Microsoft's press conference for Xbox and Bethesda. But without wasting any more time, let's take a look at some of the announcements, or what was announced. First and foremost, Starfield, that has a release date now of November the 11th, 2022. That is a year and 5 months away from now. Starfield, I am looking forward to at least seeing what the gameplay looks like. The problem is, with the release date trailer, it was basically all CGI. Some people were saying that the trailer was in engine, but it really doesn't matter because they didn't show gameplay. So, because they didn't show gameplay, I wasn't really able to, get a good feel for what the game is going to be. So I really don't have much to say on it other than, why the fuck didn't they show gameplay? Obviously, the game's probably not ready, which just goes to show that, they probably shouldn't have brought it up at all. Then you have Halo Infinite, which is confirmed for, this year, released this year, which was obvious because they delayed it. They delayed it by the span of a year last year because Halo Infinite was supposed to come out originally back on the release of the Xbox Series X and the Series S last year, but they delayed it because people were complaining that it looked like it was like a generation or so behind in the graphics department. They spent some more time working on it. It looks really good to me from what they showed. I think the funny part is because I didn't know who this character was at first, and I was like, "Is that Cortana?" And yeah, that's actually Cortana. That's a new version of Cortana. They basically scrapped the storyline that they came up with for Cortana in Halo 5 because of how unpopular it was. And they basically just said the old Cortana was deleted, and this new version basically took her place. So this is like Cortana 2.0. I mean, I guess that's the best they could have done with that. So I really don't have much to say on that. But I am glad that they brought Cortana back. Looking forward to seeing the story and everything. And yeah, I will be playing Halo Infinite. I'm actually a big Halo fan. I've been with the franchise since the very first game. yeah, definitely looking forward to that. Next announcement is Forza Horizon 5. And I'm not really interested in this. I'm not a racing person. I don't play racing games. They just racing simulators never have felt right to me with video games. It's much easier to drive a car in real life than it is to drive a car in a video game. That's just my opinion. Don't really care about that. The next game that they focused on was like Redfall, or that they have listed here anyways, is Redfall. It's basically Left 4 Dead, but with vampires. And it's being developed by Arcane Studios, who is responsible for the Prey reboot, which I hated that game, and Dishonored. And I actually do like Dishonored 2, that I played through that game once. That was a pretty decent game. It's single player and it's up to 4-player co-op. Apparently the options will be seamless. Did watch the cinematic trailer for it. It does look interesting, and I like the angle that they're going with it as far as the characters go, who also have powers of their own to fight against the enemies or the vampires or whatever. But again, no gameplay, so all you have to go off of is the cinematic trailer. When they actually show gameplay, it can end up being trash. So that's one of the things that I've been criticizing this press conference for, or this showcase. Same goes with Starfield. They didn't show any gameplay for that. Next up, you have Diablo 2 Resurrected, which is coming out September the 23rd. I'm not familiar with the Diablo series, and from what I understand, they're like top-down, maybe like top-down RPGs. I'm not really big into that genre at all, so yeah, so it looks like something like a Gauntlet or along those lines. It doesn't look like it's really for me. But yeah, for the people who care, yeah, I'm sure that'll be a treat for that audience. You have Stalker 2, which is slated for release in April of next year. The problem with Stalker 2, I mean, I thought at the beginning of the trailer, like, it was not holding my interest at all. Like, I really didn't give a shit. And then, like, later in the trailer, they started revealing, like, some more science fiction elements. They revealed, like, some of the monsters or whatever, and some supernatural abilities that they have. It does look interesting to me, but it does look a little bit too Metro. It looks like it's just another Metro game. Probably a better version of a Metro game, but a Metro game, nonetheless. So yeah, my interest is pretty low, but I'm gonna keep my eye out on this one because it does look like it can turn out to be something interesting and special. However, this is just another first-person shooter, and Microsoft, they already have enough of those, from Halo to the Bright Memory Infinite game, and now this. They need to really like step away from that genre. I know that's their comfort zone, but they need to step out of that and explore other genres in the industry. So you have Back 4 Blood, which is like it's like a successor to Left 4 Dead. I'm not really interested in that, but again, for the people who are, that's coming out in October of this year. You have Contraband from Avalanche Studios, who is best known for the Just Cause franchise. I don't really have an opinion on this because it's apparently an open world game, but it doesn't have, like, they didn't show any gameplay for it again, so I have nothing to go on. And like the 1970s is not really a time period that I'm heavily interested in whatsoever. Again, I would have to actually see gameplay and see the game in action in order to really judge it. So yeah, there's nothing that I really have to say on that. Then you have the Outer Worlds 2, which is apparently, I think this is going to be an Xbox exclusive, Xbox PC exclusive. I didn't play the Outer Worlds 1, so yeah, I really don't give a shit about that. Sea of Thieves is getting like an update with some Pirates of the Caribbean characters. I don't give a shit about that. Yakuza Like a Dragon is coming to Xbox Game Pass. I already have it on PC, so I don't give a shit. Battlefield 2042. I did look at the gameplay for this. This is a multiplayer only game, 128 players. I will not be getting this, and the game actually comes out on my birthday. That'd be great to have a new video game to play like on my birthday, but I'm not interested in this at all. The gameplay for it looks fine. The problem I have is that it's multiplayer only, and I don't support, by principle, I don't support multiplayer only games. And then on top of that, there's only 7 maps at launch, so that's another reason for me to not give a shit. Yeah, for anyone who's interested in this, hope you enjoy it, but yeah, this isn't for me. So moving down the list, we have something called Ayuden Chronicle. I don't know what that is. Yeah, I have no idea what that is. I don't really give a shit. The 12 minutes trailer, I did take a look at that. It was extremely brief. It's going to be like a narrative-driven game starring Daisy Ridley, who played Rey in the Star Wars sequel trilogy, and James McAvoy, who's been in all kinds of different movies, from the X-Men movies to Wanted, Split, and Glass, and some other movies or whatever. But yeah, that didn't really interest me, mainly because of the perspective. It looks like it's just a top-down game, top-down narrative game, which is very odd. So yeah, I don't think I'll be playing that if that's the final like perspective that the game's gonna be. So yeah, that's not really for me. Psychonauts 2. I'm a big fan of the first Psychonauts, which came out so many years ago. We're talking like 3 console generations ago. It's been a long gap between Psychonauts 1 and Psychonauts 2. But it's finally slated for release in August, later this year. It looks, it doesn't particularly look like it's up to date with other modern video games graphically. Gameplay-wise, I expect it's going to be very similar to the first one, which could be a good or a bad thing. If you have a game, like a sequel that's too much like the original, then it'll feel like, there's not much that's actually new. But from what I'm seeing from the trailer, it really does look like they spent a lot of time on this, and I think the effort will pay off. But this is really, I think, for a niche audience. I don't think this is going to garner a big crowd. But I'll probably end up playing this, because it's also coming to PC. So I didn't play Microsoft Flight Simulator, which originally came out on PC. Looks like I'm going to have to try this out, because I've heard so many great things about it. But yeah, that's finally coming to console come July the 27th. Moving down the list, we have Age of Empires 4. I've never played Age of Empires. Yeah, this is clearly a strategy game. I'm not big on strategy games like that. I have a few on Steam, which I believe is like a Star Wars Empire at War or something like that. I think that's what that game's called. Gears Tactics, I have that, and I think I have one of the Halo Wars games. But yeah, I'm not really big into RTS games. Yeah, I'm more likely not going to be playing that. Doom Eternal is coming to Xbox Game Pass along with the next gen upgrade. Well, good for them, but I already played Doom Eternal last year, so whatever with that. Fallout 76, I don't give a shit about Fallout 76. Elder Scrolls Online, don't give a shit about that. Party Animals, fuck that. Hades, already have it on Steam. Somerville, which is like, this game is a successor to Limbo and Inside. So I'm going to take a look and see what they got. So it does look like it's definitely being made in that style, just with a bit more realistic design. Looks like it could be a fun little indie game or whatever, but yeah, nothing to really get truly excited about. So moving down the list, A Plague Tale Requiem. I did take a look at the trailer for this. Now, again, they didn't really show gameplay for this, but, considering it's a sequel, you could probably already know what to expect if you played the first one, which is, I believe, called A Plague Tale Innocence. I did buy that game through a sale, I think on Fanatical, and I own it on Steam. I just haven't played it. I'm going to have to try it out and see, if I do like it or whatever, then I'll probably end up getting this. But apparently this is also, it's a multi-platform release, so it's also coming to PS5 and PC. Well, it was going to come to PC regardless. So moving down the list, we have a new gameplay for Far Cry 6. I didn't see this particular video. So, from based off of that, I think Ubisoft are moving in a better direction with the Far Cry franchise, a far better direction than the last two games. And I did like Far Cry 4, mainly because of the setting, and Far Cry 5, yeah, fuck Far Cry 5. That wasn't a good release from them. But this definitely looks to be a lot better. And like I said, a much a stronger step in the proper direction. May take the plunge on this one. I'm still thinking about it. Yeah, we'll see on that one. Slime Rancher, I can look at that in more detail. That's not for me. Snowboarding, yeah, whatever. On that. Atomic Heart, I don't know exactly what Atomic Heart is, so let me take a quick look. So first of all, this doesn't even have a release date, and then on top of that, it's another first-person shooter game. It's another FPS, and I already spoke earlier saying that commenting on the fact that Microsoft, they already have too many of those. On the positive side, on the optimistic side, it does look to be a better version of what Deathloop is supposed to be. It does look like it's along those lines or whatever, as far as the tone of it goes. But yeah, there's not much to be excited for as far as that goes. There's only so many first person shooter games that I can take. And then we have this Replace game, which is like a 2D steampunk game. The graphics looked a little bit off to me as far as that goes. Looks like the pixels are not as smooth as they should be. So yeah, I'm not really interested in that. Grounded, that's not for me. That's not for me. And this, I don't know what this is. Let me take a look. So this is coming out July the 29th. It looks very similar to that Housemarque game, the twin stick shooter or whatever. I forget what it's called. Yeah, it looks like one of Housemarque's old games. I'll probably check it out on PC. Sure, this is going to come to PC. If I go, like start from the top of the list and go down, not commenting on games like Starfield or whatever that don't have, or Contraband that don't have actual gameplay. All the games that I know I'll be getting or checking out. Halo Infinite, obviously. I think that's the best thing that they showed. Stalker 2, I think I'll end up playing that. Psychonauts 2, I'll more than likely end up checking that out. I might check out Far Cry 6, might. The Ascent. So that's 5 games out of their entire showcase. So that's not really good. I think they could have done a lot better. And I know they have other games that's in development. And so when I saw this, that they're having an extended showcase, which is taking place on June the 17th, 4 days from now. I think it's on like Thursday or whatever. They're going to have more announcements with Ninja Theory, Obsidian, Rare, Double Fine, and more. We're going to hear about games like Senua's Saga, Hellblade 2. Hopefully we'll hear about Scorn. I'm not sure who's developing Scorn, but that's the one I'm most interested in from them. And then other games like Avowed and whatever else. I'm not sure why they decided to split it, and it's probably because they just had too much to show, and so they decided to split the announcements or whatever for 2 different events. So I'm gonna hold out on as to whether or not Microsoft overall did a good job with this E3 until they actually show more on June the 17th. Right now, just 5 games from them that I care about. And so that leads me into Square Enix's conference, which is obviously much shorter by comparison to the Xbox, Microsoft Bethesda event. Starting from the top of the list and going down, they announced a Guardians of the Galaxy game, which is set to be released this year on October the 26th. That's 4 days after my birthday. And it's being developed by Eidos Montreal, which is known for the Deus Ex franchise. Now, from what I've seen, opinions on this have been pretty split. But this is going to be a single player game. There's no multiplayer, so it's not a bullshit live service game that they're going to try and rip people off, through microtransactions or whatever. That's not the type of game that this is. If anything, it's the type of game that the Avengers game should have been. From what I've seen, it does look pretty good to me. Some people are saying the gameplay looks a bit off. I think most of what that is the engine, or whatever, like the engine as it appears in the trailer, rather than the gameplay itself. They didn't actually show like the game in action with the HUD and everything, and that's what I really want to wait for. I'm not too big on like some of the character designs, like Star-Lord looks weird with the haircut or whatever. I think they shouldn't have went that direction with that, and then like Rocket Raccoon with the strange beard and shit. Like I said, just strange. But outside of that, I'm glad someone did make a Guardians of the Galaxy game. So I'm definitely going to be checking this out when it releases later this year. And so moving on, we have a Ninja Theory game. This was kind of leaked before E3, but this is a Final Fantasy game in the style of a Souls-like. And I'm not really a big fan of Souls-likes. Yeah, my opinion going into this trailer was already kind of mixed. And then by the end of the trailer, I wasn't too keen on it. The main thing that I noticed is that this is clearly the same engine that Koei Tecmo used for the Neo games. It looks exactly the same, like with the character models and everything. As far as the art style goes, I mean, it looks appropriate, except for the asshole with the pink hair. I don't know what the hell they were thinking there. And then like the gameplay, it looks okay, but like the dialogue is really like taking me out. It really took me out of the trailer and everything. Like the dialogue is just atrocious. At this point in the industry, in this day and age, there's no excuse for bad writing and just piss poor dialogue. That's something else that I have to consider as well. Now they do have a demo on PS5 for this. I'd imagine that they're probably going to release said demo because this is also coming to other platforms on PS4, Xbox, PC. I'm sure like they're going to either make a new demo or they're going to release the same demo on other platforms. This timed exclusivity shit for demos is just bullshit. It's ridiculous. I'm not in support of shit like that because there's really no reason why shit like that should be a thing in the gaming industry. I like the fact that it's kind of based off of like Final Fantasy 1, and it looks like they threw Garland in here. So, that's kind of cool, but again, there's not much reason for me to be excited for this one. But I am willing to check it out if they release another demo for it on like PC or PS4. Then you have Babylon's Fall, which is another game I was looking forward to seeing again. And honestly, after the showcase, after this trailer, it was kind of turning me off. It was like a mixture of the music and just the dialogue once again. And so, like with the story trailer for this, I mean, graphically it looks okay in certain areas, and then in others it looks extremely underdeveloped graphically. Gameplay wise, it looks improved from the last time that they showed this game off. I wanna see this game in action with the HUD and everything before I give a final say as to whether or not I'm gonna try it out. Because like certain things like the sword play looks good, but then other things like the gameplay with the bow and arrow, that looks kind of weak to me. And from what the description is, this is supposed to be a live service co-op action game. Keyword live service is something that is really turning me off to this. So yeah, right now this is like more of a wait and see. It kind of fell off my list at this point. Then we have the Avengers 2021. This is the first of their so-called content roadmap. Black Panther is being released with his own story DLC. When I was looking at this, I thought It looks interesting from like a story perspective. It looks like it's going to have a good story to it, a good narrative, but as far as the gameplay goes, well, we already know what the Avengers game plays like, and that's really the big problem. I don't see this really being interesting from a gameplay perspective unless they really came up with some unique abilities and new mechanics specifically for Black Panther as a character. But story-wise, it looks like it's going to be interesting. If the DLC is free, which I think it is, I'll probably check it out. But I'm definitely not going back to playing the full game just for this character. Yeah, that's not going to happen. The Avengers game is still a piece of shit. Then we have Life is Strange. I'm already not buying that, so whatever with that. And Final Fantasy Pixel or whatever the fuck. Some mobile shit. Yeah, I'm not buying that. Legend of Mana. Don't care about that. And you have some more mobile bullshit. So starting from the top of the list and going down, Guardians of the Galaxy, I will be checking that out later this year. Stranger of Paradise Final Fantasy Origin. Again, if they release like a new demo or whatever, or even if it's the same demo on other platforms, and I have to actually play it myself. I'm not going to watch the demo or whatever, someone playing the demo on PS5 and making my decision based off of that. I actually have to play it myself, and so yeah, if they release that demo or a new demo to other platforms, I'll check it out and go from there on that one. Babylon's Fall. I'm gonna keep my eye on it, but it's kind of fell off my radar. The Avengers game. Obviously, I don't like the Avengers game. I fucking hate the Avengers game. But for Black Panther, I'll probably end up checking out this expansion just for Black Panther because I'm a big fan of the character. Life is Strange. Like I said, I'm not playing that, and then the rest of the list is just bullshit. Really, it's just Guardians of the Galaxy. That was like the best thing that they showed. There was no news on Final Fantasy 16, which I already really don't have much of an interest in anyway. No news on Final Fantasy 7, the remake, as far as it coming to like PC or Xbox or other platforms. Obviously, Sony still has 6 months exclusivity with Intergrade on PS5. Probably won't get news for porting that game being ported to other consoles until sometime early next year. And then as far as Remake Part 2, you're probably not going to hear about that until either like late this year, like at Tokyo Game Show, TGS, or sometime next year, as they're still developing that. So overall, between Microsoft and Square Enix, Microsoft did a better job, obviously, which is not surprising, but neither did a fantastic job. There were some interesting announcements, but overall it was just bullshit. So basically a waste of time. And as far as E3, the schedule goes for the rest of the E3, taking a look at some of the announcements, we still have Nintendo, we still have Xbox, their extended showcase, Microsoft's extended showcase with that, and so there's still other announcements to be made. As far as games coming out this year, though, that have already been slated for release, I will not be buying Back 4 Blood. I will not be buying Battlefield 2042. I will not be buying Deathloop or Dying Light 2. Elden Ring is not coming out this year, but yeah, my interest in that is very low. Far Cry 6, I might check that out. I think I'm going to wait for reviews on that one and then decide from there. See what the reviews say about it. Forza Horizon, I'm definitely not buying that. I'm not a racing game person. Hades, I already have that on PC, so whatever. With that, Halo Infinite, I will be checking that out. I don't care about Just Dance or Life is Strange or Mario shit or Flight Simulator. I'll probably check that out on PC at some point. I don't care about Pokemon shit or Rainbow Six shit or Riders Republic. Kind of looked interesting, but I'm probably just going to skip it because it's Ubisoft. Tales of Arise, I think I will be buying this. I'm going to check this game out. It looks like what Final Fantasy should be, but it's not modern Final Fantasy anyway. So yeah, I'm definitely going to invest in that. So really, it's just Tales and Halo at this point. Not really interested, and maybe Far Cry 6, but yeah, nothing else. That's my coverage anyway for Microsoft and Square Enix. like I said, I made a video with my co-host talking about Ubisoft and their press conference. So when I get that video edited, I will be uploading that.